The Z to Z Podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the Z to Z Podcast, the home for Xbox achievement hunters and gamerscore junkies. I'm your host, Drunko Fream, and thank you so much for listening. This is show 133. I want to thank you so much for being a part of us, spending the next hour or so with us. You can find show notes for this show, as well as previous show, on our website, z2z.com. And you can reach us through Twitter at Z2Z, or over at forums, forum.z2z.com, or feel free to email us directly at contact@z2z.com. I am joined this week with Proulx. How are you doing, Proulx?
I forgot that you said that you were going to have a few adult beverages.
We'll talk about that.
Okay, all right. I'm doing great. Thanks.
So Proulx is here, and in our rotating cavalcade of community friends, we have brought Kooshmoose along with us. How are you doing, Koosh?
Not bad. How are you guys doing?
I'm fantastic. Yeah, so we originally were going to record last night, Friday night, and Proulx said, look, I got a date with my sister, so I think you literally did say that.
I don't think I used the word date, but it's possible. I guess it could be possible that I may have said that.
All right, fine. No, I might have thrown those words in your mouth, but so you had said, you had some things going on, and would it be okay to move this to Saturday night for a recording? Koosh, you were like, oh man, yeah, that's great for me. And I said, well, I would still be a part of it, but I will be likely intoxicated. So today it's been a busy day for me. This morning we started our baseball tournament, and we got just shelled. Oh, these poor kids. So not only was it like 95 degrees, and we held our own for a little while, but because we have to play again tomorrow morning, I could only let my kids pitch 20 pitches. And to get enough outs in 20 pitches is really hard. And so, I was ripping through pitchers like you wouldn't believe. And so, the way the game is set up is that you can get 5 runs per inning. All right, these are 9 through 12-year-olds. And so, my team is a lot of 10-year-olds, a smattering of 11 and 12-year-olds. I think I have 2 12-year-olds. And I still have 2 9-year-olds. So, a young team. Well, we ran into a team today that was mostly 12-year-olds. And if you see a 12-year-old next to a 9-year-old, it is like Thor next to Hulk. Just in terms of scale, it's very dramatic. And so, a 9-year-old has a hard time hitting against a 12-year-old. And so we did fine. We did okay in the first few innings. And then I only have 6 pitchers, and I have to play 6 innings. And so if nobody can get all 3 of their outs in an inning, well, I run out of pitchers. And it just so happens that one of the rules is that in the last inning, you can score as many runs as you want. There's no run limit because there's always a chance to get back into the game. Well, I ran out of pitchers because I completely mismanaged the game, and they ended up scoring 12 runs in the because I had I put one kid out there. I'm like, hey Ryan, he's like this 3-foot-nothing kid. I'm like, can you throw strikes at all? He's like, yeah, sure, I can. I put him out there, 8 straight balls, walked 2 dudes. I'm like, okay, well, that didn't work. Looks like we got to get somebody else out there. So it was pretty embarrassing by the end of the game, and it went long. It was a long game. I almost lost my catcher to heat stroke. It was so warm. And so, so we leave the tournament, we come home, and it was our second annual Neighborhood Olympics. And so what we do is everyone on the block gets together and we play yard games. And of course we decided this year. So last year we had teams, 4 teams of 4, 5. 4 teams of 4 or 5. They had 16 to 20 people or whatever. My team got killed last year, and it was a mixed gender groups, right? We split the couples up. You couldn't be with your significant other, but you could be in other groups or whatever. So this year we decided, listen, you know what? At least let's do guys versus girls, and so that when the night is over, you're at least going home with a loser. So, nobody's happy. It'll be great.
Wait. Do you live in a cul-de-sac or?
Yes, actually we do.
Okay. So when you say neighborhood, how does this work? I'm curious.
So it's one street. So the way if you So we are on a cul-de-sac, but the length of the drive that leads to the circle is 5 houses.
Okay.
So you have 5 houses long, and then it comes to a 5-house cul-de-sac, but it doesn't go all the way. So like if you think of a clock, if the cul-de-sac is like a clock, the 3 o'clock arm goes out 5 houses to the off-road, and then there's a 6 o'clock arm that goes down 2 other houses. So like there's a little bubble on like an elbow there, but it's kind of hard to explain. But there's like 2 main drags, and we're kind of this little offshoot section. And so it's that whole corner piece there. So it's probably, 10 to 12 homes who are invited to be part of the activities.
Interesting.
And we all have pretty young kids, and like it's a great little family neighborhood. And so we're all about the same age. And so this weekend we always put it on the calendar and say this, one weekend in the summer, kids are with grandma, grandpa, babysitter, whoever, get rid of them, because we were having a weekend of adult fun. And so we did. It was great. And so we played, we had a bunch of stuff. Beanbags, of course. We played washers. I don't know if you guys do washers at your... So, no. But this is like a big game of washers where you have to like stand on it. That's super funny.
What is washers?
You have to describe that.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay. So washers is, it's like beanbags, only you have a piece of wood with 3 holes drilled into it. Mm-hmm. The 3 holes make like a stoplight type orientation, straight vertical holes. And these washers are the size of like apples. I mean, they are big. They're 4-inch diameter washers. They're very, very significant. And you throw them like mini frisbees. You're about 12 feet away from these holes. And if you make it in the first hole, it's worth 1 point. Second hole is 2 points. Third one is 3 points. And you just play it like beanbags. And so, but you have to stand on the physical washer table to do it. So you're about 4 inches off the ground, throwing in it. They look like tee boxes on like a mini golf. That's like that kind of like green felt that's on mini golf courses, like indoor mini golf. Mm-hmm. So you make it out of that. And so then the washers kind of slide a little bit, but they're heavy and they're wobbly. And so like if they don't hit flat, they bounce all over the place. It's fun. It's a good outdoor game. That's a great little time. So we did that. Have you guys ever heard of spike ball?
No.
This must be like a Minnesota thing.
No.
Yeah.
Man, you watch ESPN, man, spike ball is
right on
coming
top.
up. It's a fast-paced volleyball type game where you have a mini trampoline in the middle of a circle of people. So you have like you make like a cross. So you and your partner are across from your opponent and your partner in a cross shape. And one person, volleyball spikes it into the trampoline, and it bounces to the other side. And then that person has to set it, like volleyball, open palm up in the air. And then the other person can either spike it at the trampoline or set it again, at which the third time you only get 3 hits per side, and you have to send it over there. And so it's this fast-paced game where you're running around a small 3-foot trampoline. It is great fun. A lot of activity. Everybody's scoring on every time, so it's really it's just this fun rally scoring type activity. And so you get really, and of course it's like 95 degrees here, so it's crazy hot. We're sweating like pigs. So we did that. We did Can Jam. Have you guys ever played Can Jam?
Okay, Can Jam I know.
Okay,
no
Can
idea.
Jam I'm very familiar with.
Doesn't know about Can Jam.
Nope.
Can Jam is a frisbee game where you throw a frisbee at what is ostensibly a small garbage can.
It is absolutely a garbage can.
With like a mail slot in it. And so if you hit the garbage can on your throw, it's worth 2 points. But ideally, the goal is to loft it so it floats just above, and your partner on the opposite side of you smashes the frisbee into the top of the hole, into the opening of the garbage can for 3 points. If they simply just hit it and knock the side, it's worth 1 point. You play with the rules where if you make it in the mail slot, it's game over, right?
Yeah, that's an instant win.
That's
for sure.
in the rules. Guess what? Nailed it.
Nice.
I killed it. I rubbed it in the girls' faces. It was great. It was like my third throw, and I was like, boom, game over, see ya. So we did that, and then my neighbor also has he has a regulation size field goal post in his backyard because his son loves football and kicking. He's a soccer player as well. And so he likes practicing field goals. Well, he's out of town, so we decided, we're using his field goal to just punt some footballs into. And so, it was like a 20 or 15-yard field goal. And if you made it, you got a point for your team. That's where the girls made the most of their points. We had some soccer player girls on the team, and we were just booting field goals for a while, dodging dog poop all over the yard because he doesn't clean up his yard. But so it was great. It was a good time. But, that started at like 4, and it is, I'm about 5 hours deep into, the silver bullets here. I got one now here to quench my thirst. Yeah, it's great.
So you've had a good evening, Fream. It's basically that's the last 5 minutes of the show have been Fream has had a good time.
Has had fun. Yeah, that's right.
All right.
What better way to escape your problems than drowning your sorrows in alcohol? It's so good. So good. So good. But I did play some video games this last week, but I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from let's ask Koosh, our guest. What have you been up to? How's life been treating you? It's been a while since we've talked.
Yeah, gosh, it's been like 6 months.
Especially since I don't get to play games with you anymore.
I know, it's been a very long time since I've talked with you, much less heard your voice. So it's kind of great. What have I been doing? Been sticking with the boosts. We've got a couple different boosts.
Yeah, you're keeping busy.
Yeah, man. The Battleborn. I finished Battleborn a while ago, but we still got Matt.
So you're like done.
I'm done. Yep.
That's awesome. What number of completion were you? Do you remember?
Ooh, I don't know. I thought I had the page
because I can't imagine it's that many people.
Let's see. There's currently 114 people have completed it.
Whew.
Yeah,
that's not much at all.
Out of 18,000, so a little over 18,000. But yeah, I've been playing it proper about a year. It was about a year and a month for the boost, and before that, I only played it for 1 month because I had an RTDL to start it and to get one person's lore challenges done.
Right.
That's kind of where it started. So I played it for 1 month, and then I played it months later for about a year. We got it done. And then we've got 2 people, Mattism and Saucy, are getting pretty close to finishing it. And then the wheels have fallen off the bus for just about everybody else. So we're wrapping it up. And if anyone wants to jump in that has been gone for a while, we're probably going to need a little bit of a heads up and try to get you what we can while we're still meeting. So that's kind of like my win of the, I guess, year.
Yeah, well, I mean that's significant though.
Yeah, it's pretty significant.
Really significant.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Was it worth it? Do you think? I don't want to say worth it. That's not what I'm trying to ask. How is the boost overall? Like, obviously, it's something that not a lot of people do.
Right.
That's a tough thing to ask at the end of a long boost. But.
Well, let me tell you. So the boost it morphed as time went on, right? Initially, we just got together and we were like, all right, let's all play this game, and we'll get some stuff out of it, and we'll just kind of go in. And it was kind of like, it was a big mess. Basically, everyone saying, let me get this, I'll get this. Well, while you're doing that, hey, let me do this. So it was very chaotic. And at some point, we just kind of said, what, we're getting nowhere. It's been a couple weeks, of one night a week, and we're getting very slow progress here. We need to be a little more focused. At that point, things really took off. I thought, we were just kind of crushing through stuff. We just kind of kept at it, but we were getting 8 to 10 people a week, so there was a lot.
Yeah, it was significant.
Yeah, there was a lot to do at that time. And then once we got done with a bunch of the, do this, do that type stuff, where everyone could basically benefit. And we started to work on lore challenges. So each character has these 5 lore challenges that they have to do. And they're very specific to that character. So it's kind of hard to make that work for everybody. So we basically started taking turns and saying, okay, we're going to go down the list, and each person is going to get 1 round to focus on whatever they want. And everyone else basically just does whatever they're told. And then we basically get through that list in one night. We get everyone 1 turn, and then we'd go to the next week. And so we basically just plan it out and kind of figure out how we were going to do it. So, the boost, while it was long, it was a good time. There was a lot of laughs. Yeah, and once I started doing solo grinding on a bunch of the lore stuff, I was making a lot of progress. I was getting out of the gates fast. I actually really started to enjoy the game. So yeah, I mean,
that's like my other question is like, because I'm looking at my list now of what to do in that game, and it's so much of it is like, boy, I could just really just crank this out by myself. Like, there's a lot of things. Yes, there's a lot of things that require a group, or not even require, but boy, it makes life a lot easier for a group. But there's still so much in there that's like, maybe it's just more fun to play with people, but how many of the people were actually like doing their homework, I guess, is for lack of a better term.
Maybe one or two people were doing their homework.
But it's a multiplayer class-based shooter, right? Like,
yeah.
God, the other game,
Overwatch.
So like when you say doing things single player, like how does that work? Is that against computer players? Is that is the population enough to do these things just in general multiplayer games?
No. Yeah, you wouldn't want to play this game with people that you don't know that are going to stand there and let you shoot them in the face. You don't want to play that game because the people that are playing it for real, they're pretty good because they actually enjoy the game and they spend a lot of time getting good at the game and understanding how it works.
You actually ran into people who play the game for real?
Early on in the boost, when I was trying for the RTDL and I didn't know any better, I didn't have enough fake friends to basically get in and meet in one place at one time and just stand around in a circle and shoot people in the face. I was playing against real people and just got schooled. But that's before I spent I'm looking at it 307 hours and 12 minutes for the completion. Wow. Now, a lot of that is idling overnight and things like that. So, it's not true time. But,
so what would you say, like 100 hours? Is that fair or more than that? Or less
it's probably
than
more
that?
than it's probably more than that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But, a lot of that is also taking turns getting people their stuff as well. So, but as far as, going back to your question about, is it fun solo? Yeah, because you can go in and do bot matches for certain things. So when you need certain characters to show up against you, and you don't happen to own 4 Xboxes, so you can do it yourself, you can get bots, and that stuff counts. But alternatively, if you're just looking for the things that don't require multiplayer and just involve shooting or killing or doing this action so many times or doing this action under this condition, you can do that during the solo levels. And there are about 8 or 10.
8.
Something like that. There's a couple extra ones in the DLC as well. So you can just you can play those, and those are actually fun to do solo as well. So there's a lot of fun to be found solo, and that's kind of where I really enjoyed it because I wasn't standing around just waiting to run back and die for this person or have these people run back and die for me. Now I'm just playing the game and really ended up enjoying it. There is fun to be found in that game.
There you have it. Well, that's cool.
It feels like, doesn't it feel like such a relic? Like already? Like, not, I just mean the entire genre. Like, God, I keep forgetting the name of the big game. Overwatch. Like, even Overwatch, which was and is massively successful, feels like kind of like this weird relic of a time from like a year and a half ago.
It was pretty crazy when you couldn't look anywhere and not see a hero shooter, and now
now it's all
kind of dried up.
Now it's all battle
royale.
Yeah, so it's so funny that it's such a tiny sliver in time, and then you take that, and now you have this game, which is like kind of a imitation version of that, and I don't know. I haven't played the game. I own the game, and I can't imagine I'll ever play it, but.
You're talking Battleborn or Overwatch?
I mean Battleborn, yes, sorry.
Okay.
I can't imagine I'll ever play it, but really interesting how things like shift so quickly nowadays.
Yeah, right. You kind of miss the tour bus. But like I was saying, for anyone that was in the boost and is just now hearing my voice and has forgotten and maybe wants to come back, you gotta talk to us quick because we're wrapping it up and we'd love to help. But we're not going to stick around forever grinding out easy stuff that can be done solo. So if you want to get help, please ask us and we can get it done.
Awesome. Proulx, what about you? How was your date?
Okay, so
Let's clear the air. Fine.
yeah, it's my sister, so it's not a date. There you go, Fream. I cleared the air. No, actually, there's I have two interesting things happened to me this week that are kind of related, gaming-wise, and I can go through both of them. So, I had played Microsoft Mahjong on the Windows. Oh God, the original version was on Windows Phone 7, maybe I want to say.
Wait, that's the version you're doing?
No, I did that
okay.
before. I had done that earlier on.
Yeah.
And I had some free time this Friday, and I'm like, okay, what do I want to do? And all right, well, there's a Mahjong version for Windows 10 that I can play. I'm
literally playing that right now.
Yeah, that I can play on my phone. So I booted up. So my theme of this week is unexpected achievements. So I booted up my Mahjong Windows 10 version, and I got like 450 achievements instantly. I got like 23 achievements right away.
Because they synced up?
They synced up. Wow. And I had no idea that they did. And it was awesome because like bloop, 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 bloop. Like hearing that is pretty awesome. It's pretty fantastic. So I booted up the current version of Microsoft Mahjong and got all the achievements, all that progress carried over without even having to do anything. It just did it automatically. And that was awesome. So that's the upside. The downside.
Is that completion? Or now that you have the year long ahead
yes,
of you?
The downside is it's exactly like how Solitaire was, where I have no choice but to play 12 months of this game. Get your 8 months of gold, 10 months of silver, 12 months of bronze, and then of course the 1 month of perfect. Whatever, that's fine. Mahjong is pretty doable. That's not a problem. I don't have any problem with that. It is a time sink I wasn't prepared to get into, but I got 500 or 450 points instantly, so that was pretty fantastic. My other story about unexpected achievements comes from, like Freem mentioned, my sister was coming through town last night, and we were supposed to record. That didn't happen because she brought her and her 3 sons, very young kids. I think the oldest was in 5th grade, is going into 5th grade. And then younger than that for the other 2. And very excited about coming. So they came in town. They show up last night, pretty late at night, but they want to play Xbox. Okay, cool. That's no problem. Let me sign you into, one of my alts. That's no problem. You can play whatever you want. Well, my eldest nephew is very well-versed in Minecraft, like extremely well-versed. So I put him on my Xbox, and I'm like, he's like, I want to play Minecraft. So I say, here's Minecraft, the Xbox One version, which I have complete.
Yeah.
So I assume he'd be fine with that. He goes, this is weird. Something's wrong. This isn't the Pocket Edition. Well, I'm like, well, technically it's not the Pocket Edition, but I assume what he means is the Better Together version, which is the most recent version. He could tell right away. Like, he just instantly knew. Yeah, okay. All right, let me sign you into an alternate account. You can play that version. Okay, cool. Well, Freem, as a parent, I assume you know that something I wasn't aware of, that little kids wake up very early.
Oh, yeah.
Very early in the morning. So we all went to bed at midnight-ish last night. And I woke up this morning at 7:30 with like 5 or 6 achievements unlocked in the new version of Minecraft that I hadn't planned on starting for a while. He just unlocked a bunch of the easy stuff like punching wood and opening their inventory. But yeah, he signed onto my Xbox while I was sleeping and played some Minecraft, which is fine. It's no big thing. Yeah. It is a huge thing, and I got really upset. No, I kid.
Something would tell me that you could get those yourself.
Yes. Yeah. The ones he got were fine, but he set my kind of goals for achievement percentage back a little bit. No big deal. Whatever. I'm not going to.
How many achievements are in that one?
It's like 80 something. It's
that's a doozy.
It's pretty significant. It's fine. It's no big deal.
You sent him
but it's
home.
Like,
you said get out.
It was actually really funny because last night, he wanted to play Minecraft, so I'm like, here you go. And I'm like, so I signed him into my alt account, and he I'm like, here, you can pick whatever game you want to play. And then he picked like Forza 4 or whatever. I don't even know what Forza game it was. I would never play a Forza game, so I'm like, oh God, if he put a Forza game on my achievement or on my list overnight, I would freak out. I wouldn't even know what to do. Minecraft's fine. I can recover Minecraft with no problem. But Forza, no, God, no.
Yeah, no problem. Kingsman, where are you?
But anyways, so yeah, my 2 times this week I had unexpected achievements. One was good, one was a little not so good, but I think I'll be okay for both of them.
That's funny. Yeah, that's great. One of my completions this week, and I was actually really surprised with where I finished in terms of like number, because it was, and we've talked about it on the show before, so I won't go too in depth on it. But Albert and Otto, it's like a 2-hour completion, and it's, I know we've touched on it a few times, but because it's so short and it's glitched, so you can get that. There's that one where you like finish the game without dying 5 times, even though you can die like every single step of the way, and it'll just unlock at the end of the game. It's great. Like we said, I hope it doesn't patch out because that would be unfortunate. And so I played that game. I had a random to-do list achievement in there. And it was super easy. Like, it's at the first level, you just walk left instead of right, just like in Limbo, and you get the achievement. But I was like, it's a short completion, so I'm going to give it a shot, and I'll try and finish this thing out. So I played it, I got my 2 hours in, I beat the game, and there were 2 achievements I missed. There are 3 achievements that are pretty tricky, and 2 of them I wasn't able to do. And those achievements are doing things without dying. So there are 2 main bosses in the game. In one section leading up to the second boss, that you need to complete without dying. And so I died on the first boss the one time, and I was like, oh, I don't get how to kill him. Oh, there it is. Okay, well, let me just restart it because it's not that far, and finish that one off. So I got that one, but I couldn't do the river, and I couldn't do the final boss. Now, this game is a 2D platformer, very Limbo-esque. It's got that monochrome graphics, if you're not familiar with the game. It is pretty demented. Not so weird in the sense of, like, super dark and, like gory or anything, but, like, I really don't understand it. Have you guys played Albert Otto, Proulx, Koosh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
No, I haven't touched it yet.
Okay, so the puzzles are pretty simplistic. They are very intuitive, not difficult to circumnavigate. They have like maybe 1 or 2 steps to them. Some of the more complicated ones are like maybe you have to do 4 things, but it's still pretty much right in front of your face. Like, I didn't think there was anything that got me hung up like in Limbo or Inside, and so I wouldn't put it on those par. And the levels are pretty darn short. I mean, like I said, the whole game takes you about 2 hours. But I think what disturbed me the most was I was darn sheep, and I just don't get it. So, like, Koosh, do you understand the story? Like, do you get what's going on? Is it a Velveteen Rabbit type thing?
Whoa. Okay, so that's going real deep. Yeah, I don't remember that much about the story.
Okay. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like, and I don't even know, like, if there are spoilers because I don't get it. Like, I don't understand what I played, and so, like, I don't know if things that I mention will be spoilers or not. But suffice it to say, we don't need to get into details about the story aspect of it, but it's just strange.
Did it end in a cliffhanger as well?
Yes. It is just, this is part 1 of what presumably is multiple parts. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So that's not even the weird thing. As weird as the game is, the weird thing was so because I couldn't do those 2 sections, they have a pretty robust. I say robust, but the chapters are pretty long because the 2 sections you need to do without dying are at the end of the 6th chapter and the end of the 7th chapter. So you have to play all the way through them. But the chapters take 15 minutes to do. They're not that long. It just sucks that you have to do the beginning part to get to the part where you need to run without dying. And so I couldn't finish it on Friday night last week, or Saturday, whatever. And so I said, all right, fine. You know what? I'll just come back to it. I need to refocus, take a breather, That's how you're gonna get past something like this. You're too frustrated right now. So I come back to it, and I had some time between when I got home from work and somewhere we had to go. I think like soccer practice or something. I had about an hour or so. My wife was downstairs running, and my kids were watching TV. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna stream it on my computer. That'll be great. And so I load up on my laptop here, and I start to play, and my save game is gone. Wait, what? How the hell? This is so weird. And so I'm like trying to, okay, is it lost somewhere? Why is it not? Do I need to reboot? Why can't I find my save game where I can chapter select? Nothing. It's like, okay, well, that sucks. Anyway, all right, fine. It's a short game, whatever. I'll just start going. So I played the first level, and I made it through the first section. And my wife comes upstairs and is like, hey, you guys got to get going. You have baseball practice. That's what it was, baseball practice tonight. It's like, oh, crap. Okay, you're right. I got to get ready. Okay. So I put my laptop down and my, the controller next to it, went upstairs, got ready, got my kid ready. Everyone is good to go. I was like, you know what? I probably shouldn't leave this thing idling while I go. So I grabbed my controller, which had died. And when it died, it said, goes to the title screen or the pause screen. And on there it was said, new game, resume, or chapter select. I was like, oh, okay, well, let me just see where I'm at, resume, and maybe I'll find a checkpoint, and then so I don't have to redo this again. So I hit resume, and it brought me back to exactly where my save had deleted. So, like, it had reloaded my save somehow by disconnecting my control. I don't even know what happened, but when I came back to it, I had all the chapters left or available to me, and the game was fully completable.
Oh, nice.
It was great. It was a nice, fun surprise.
It's like a good glitch.
Yes, it was a super good glitch.
Yeah.
It took me a while, so I had all week. I tried a couple of times, didn't happen, and I was like, last night I said, all right, I'm just gonna do this. I need to, and I got a first try. That that's always the case, right? When you just you take a deep breath, you calm down. But I beat both sections without dying, and I was the 617th gamer to finish that game, which again surprises me because it's pretty darn easy. It's short 2-hour completion, you full gamer score on that one. There are a couple challenging things, but only 617 people. Yeah, it was easy peasy. So there's that. Koosh, what else you been up to?
Well, a lot of what I do is, I'll play the Game Pass quests, or I'll play the gold quests. So I've kind of just been idling some of those things. Luckily, I think it was Beast Middle. He was the one that was like, hey, if you were to, say, idle ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, you could get both the Game Pass and the gold quest done overnight at the same go. So I did that. So thanks to him, I've done the first half of those quests, and now moving on to the second half of those quests. So a lot of what I do is, okay, what are the contests that are going on? It's the RTDL, it's the Gamertag Challenge. So that kind of informs how I'm going to play. And then the boosts inform how I play. And it's very rare that I pick a game that's, for fun, and not necessarily for any other thing, like a boost to help those people or to work on these contests. What happened was downloaded a game. It was basically tailor-made for me. It is called Yoku's Island Express, and I believe it's been talked about briefly. It is a Metroidvania pinball game. It is perfect for me. It's got these...
I don't even understand how that works.
Yeah, I know. It's great. So it's Metroidvania. It's 2D. You are going back and forth. It's got graphics that look like Rayman met with maybe Ori, and they kind of got together, and they had this little love child, and then just kind of like secreted it away, and then just kind of launched. I'd been watching this game for a while. I guess it came up on TA, True Achievements, and I was just like, "Ooh, that's nice." So I favorited that. Tell me all about this. So basically, it's a Metroidvania. You get different power-ups, so you can access different areas of the map later on as you gain these abilities. So there is backtracking and such. So to me, it's a true Metroidvania.
Right.
It's just got a pinball mechanic. So every now and then, as you're traversing the world with pinball mechanics, you get to basically a pinball puzzle where there are obstacles that have to be broken down or broken through by completing certain actions. So you have to hit this ball of crystal or whatever 3 times, and once you do that, it shatters, and now you can access a different part of the puzzle. You have to run through this little spinny thing 3 times, and then that unlocks this thing. So there's just like little things you have to do in each one of these pinball puzzles using those pinball mechanics, and then that area opens up and you can progress to the next area. So it's a little bit like Mamungu's pinball something or other, but it's definitely more of a Metroidvania than that game. That game is a straight up pinball game with little challenges. This is a straight up Metroidvania. You're going from area to area. You get these special powers that you keep with you, and they allow you to open different areas. Perfect game. I could not put it down. I was playing way later than I intended to, so it was a game. It was tailor-made for me. I loved it from start to finish. There are a couple little problems. Once you get certain power-ups that allow you to go really fast, really far, the game kind of chugs a little bit, catching up to that. So there's a little bit of stuttering when you're doing that. But for the most part, since you're not fighting too many things in between areas, it doesn't really matter. It's just like, oh, okay, well, I'll wait for the game to catch up and let me progress. I also noticed there were a couple problems with the map in the way that the map is loading. So on the map, you can sort of see what you need to do, and that helps with collectibles and actions that you have to do, to get the achievements. When you're far away from them, it's like it has a static picture, and you can't really tell just by looking at that part of the map. Oh, have I done that? Because the icon that would indicate that is, let's say, a mailbox, for instance, you have to open and deliver something to. It looks closed on the map. So you start traversing from the top left corner of the map to the bottom right corner of the map. By the time you get a little bit closer to it, the picture has changed. Now you can tell, oh man, that one's actually open. I've actually done that one. So the map isn't, it's not perfect, but as you get close to it, it kind of refreshes with like your status. And it also seemed like when you're in the game, you collect, one of the collectibles you pick up are sprays, and you take these sprays back to the village. And in that village, there's a shop where you can apply those sprays to the ball, and you can apply them singly. I think there's 6 of them, 5 of them, something like that. Or you can have a combination of 2, and every single spray that you put on, or every combination, gives the ball a different appearance. And some of the achievements are tied to 2 or 3 of those sprays being on your ball, either being able to access this area, or being able to talk to this person and they comment on the ball and you get something else. It really seemed like they were starting to add that maybe towards the end as another thing, another way to make this up and give you these abilities that you have to do to access these areas. And then it sort of seemed like maybe they were like, oh, that's a lot of work, and we need to get this thing out. Because it's not implemented, so every single one of the balls doesn't have a function, but there's like 2 or 3 of them that do. So to me, that was kind of a clue that maybe they had bigger vision for this, and it was just taking too long, and they had to get it out. So I'm really hoping that there's a sequel to this, or that these guys go and do something else, because it's very interesting. Like I said, tailor-made for me. I loved it from start to finish. I think it was $15. It was amazing.
Have they made any other games, or is this their debut game?
I think it was their debut game, at least for the Xbox.
Sure.
Now, let me ask you a question, Koosh. As someone who has absolutely zero involvement, has never played this game at all, I promise.
Okay.
Any missables that somebody would need to look out for, or is it something that you can always go back to and collect all the other stuff that you need?
Great question. I don't believe there are any missables. However, there's something you should be aware of from the very beginning, and that is there are scarabs on the pinball puzzles. So as you get to each one of those pinball areas, there are little scarabs inside these puzzles that require certain actions to be done 3 or 4 or 5 times. They're not necessarily tied to progressing through the puzzle, but it's just a little indicator that kind of, as you do something, the scarab's wings start to spread open a little bit. And after about 3 or 4 or 5 phases of that, they completely open. The scarab kind of lights up a little bit like a lightning bug, and then fruit pops out, which is the currency in this game. And then that basically goes away. So the next time you come back to that area, that scarab is gone. And if you don't realize that from the very beginning, it becomes difficult to track all this down. One of the problems with the map, once again, because you can sort of see the scarab icon on the map, but as you get close to it, sometimes it disappears. You can't really tell it's there. But that would be my my advice going from the very beginning. Maybe don't look at the achievements, but just be aware that when you see a scarab in a puzzle, do that action until that scarab goes away. And that'll make your playthroughs a lot easier. You don't have to do as much backtracking when you're going to hunt those down at the end.
On an entirely unrelated note, this may or may not be the exact game that we're covering in Reviews Ed this week.
Oh my!
Yay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
So, we take a listen to while it may be tailor-made for Koosh here. Some of us are terrible at pinball, and I don't hold that against the game. I don't hold it against the game, but I'd say about a third through the game,
okay.
And I definitely am enjoying it. There's a lot of charm. But take a listen to this week's Reviews Ed and see what you think.
Well, hopefully
we have some things to talk about.
And I hope you talk about the story, because I didn't mention any of the story. I realized I didn't say one word about what you're actually doing in other than it's a Metroidvania and it was made for me. So that'd be interesting to listen to. Yep.
I don't have a lot of negative things to say about my most negative experiences is like, okay, I'm awful at pinball and this is frustrating, but I don't hold it against the game. And as I go through it, I'm sure I'll enjoy it more and more. So, it's a solid game for sure, no doubt.
I am equally terrible at pinball. But you mentioned Metroidvania, Koosh. Did you put in your Dead Cells pre-order yet?
Oh, yes. As soon as I saw, I think Rocker Dude mentioned that you get $5 off. I was on it as soon as I heard that. I am so excited for that game. That is probably, of the games that were debuted at E3, my top two, Dead Cells and Ori. I mean, so that's like 50% of what I'm looking forward to this year. I'm super psyched.
Same. I don't pre-order games, but I threw them my $20 because I cannot wait until that game comes out. October or August 7th?
Yep, early August.
It's going to be sweet.
It's gonna be so
I'm
good.
super pumped. So, Proulx, you said you're playing some Yoku. You playing anything else you want to talk about here?
Let me talk about two other games real quick. Well, I'll briefly mention maybe three. So I finished Life is Strange again tonight.
On the 360?
Yep. So good. That's all.
I gotta do Before the Storm yet. That's on my RTDL.
Man, it's so interesting because
you know what happens. Or
kind of. It's just that you learn about this character. So, I played Life is Strange when it first came out. Then I played Before the Storm when that came out. Going back to Life is Strange, you realize how much of a presence that character had originally that you didn't realize, or at least how smart they were to pull that influence.
Sure.
So, but I don't want to get into spoilers or anything like that. But anyways, let me talk about 2 or 3 games real quick. I'm going to talk about Jump Step Step just because it's awesome. It's basically a super easy 1.5 hour completion if you're following a guide. And it's a super great programming technique. Like,
I was going to say, that's like a coding game.
It's a coding game, absolutely. And like you learn loops and all this sort of stuff. It's cool. And I mean, I followed the guide, but if I had to sit down and do it, I could do it. But it's cool. It was cool and fun and had some cutesy visuals and stuff like that. But the game I want to talk most about real quick is Super Destroy Knots, I think is how you would say it. DX.
Okay.
This is the easy game that came out last week. Costs $4 and is 30-minute completion, I would say. Basically, it's a Space Invaders game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. There's like 5 modes you have to play. And if you play one mode and actually try, and then you play the next mode and actually try, and then until you die or fail or whatever, you're going to get all of the achievements. in about 30 minutes. It's pretty awesome. For $4, it's pretty amazing. You have to get to, so there's like 5 modes. Challenge mode, you have to get to challenge 12. Easy, super, super easy. Regular classic mode, you have to get to a level, or not level, 100,000 points, also super easy. Then there's hardcore mode, which you can't die, so you have to get to 10,000 points. That's like 10 kill or something like that. Anyways, it's a super easy game. If you're looking for super easy points, play it because it's fun and quick. So there you go.
Awesome. I got one more thing I want to talk about. Koosh, what about you? How many games you got? You wanna touch on? Hey, how's that Diablo boost going? I saw you picked up a friend.
Yeah, we got a new friend in Jareth, friend of Mattism.
Old achievement hound.
Yeah, I guess so. I wasn't really into the achievement hound, so I don't have any of that history to draw from.
Yeah, I used to game with him quite a bit back in the day.
Well, he's definitely put the time in on Diablo. He's definitely at the front of the pack. We are currently, I'd say, of everyone that's not Jareth, we have probably 2 to 3 characters at 70. We're just trying to get the last few. We're about 3/5 of the way through whatever it is that we're doing. Those quests at the end, the special quests, I can't remember what they're called.
The bounties.
Yes, thank you, the bounties. I should know this. You haven't been playing. I've been playing. I don't remember. Bounties. Yes, we're about 3/5 of the way through the bounties, at least I am. And then once we're done all that stuff and the characters, then we're going to go ahead and do our hardcore achievements. There's achievements for killing certain people in hardcore and also for getting to level 70 hardcore. So we're saving that for the very end. So we're getting there. It's to the point where we're kind of realizing, we need to start doing homework in Diablo as well.
Jeez.
Yeah,
so much homework.
Yeah, well, we all these boosts are long boosts, and we're starting to do homework in Evolve, in Diablo, and we're gonna change things up. Instead of doing 3 separate boosts, we're gonna maybe bring it down to 2, and try to be more focused. Maybe get one game that's 1 night a week, and another game that's maybe 2 nights a week, or maybe just spread the love around some more. I'm not sure, but yeah. So we're gonna try to be a little more focused on some of our boosts, and we're looking at maybe the Division as next.
Oh man,
yeah, well,
I want to do that one.
Well, we can try. We can try to get some hours in, but I guess you're a little bit earlier gamer these days.
And I'm on the fence with that now because it was like, man, once baseball's over, shouldn't be so bad because. Even now, like I'm going to bed at like 10:30, but I gotta wake up at 4 a.m. for the stupid gym. So it's like I'm still just getting 6 hours of sleep.
And no gaming. Yeah.
And no gaming. Yeah. No gaming makes Jack a dull boy. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But I've been hitting it hard on the weekends, and the one thing that I did do community related was I gave our game of the month a shot, which is Boss 101. Have you guys played that at all yet?
I wouldn't say I've played it because I don't really find it that much of a good game. But yeah, I was excited to try it, and then I tried it, and that's about all I can say. It's nice.
Not only did we cover it on Reviews Ed, but I completed it.
So you actually did everything.
Everything.
I forgot. I think you mentioned that before. How many bosses was it?
It's 31, I think, is how it works. 30 is the final whatever, and then... Yeah, I think it's 31.
Okay. Do you have to, beat those bosses that you kind of make once you find all the bits and bobs? Is that a thing, or is there a collectible for that? Or I haven't even looked at the achievement list, to be honest.
So how far have you gotten in the game?
I have beaten 5 bosses.
Okay.
3 levels, 5 bosses. I didn't realize, I didn't really quite understand how it worked, and now I do.
So you play through the game, as normal, and then when you are done, there's actually, there's kind of a lot to do, but kind of not. Yeah. On the other hand, so it's hard to say. If I were to write a roadmap on how to get this done, it would be play through the game, make sure that every time you beat a boss and you go back to the main area, you talk to the new person that is in the main.
Like your visitor. Or
yeah,
whatever.
the visitor. Make sure you talk to them because they're going to give you
that.
Yep.
New pets.
And that's it. But basically, that's it. You talk to them, you get the new friend that they bring you, and then you go back out and shoot and kill the boss. That's kind of it. Upgrade your rewards first. I can't remember. It's not called rewards.
The monies.
The money
cash?
that you get so that you can get better upgrades.
Yeah.
Then do like the power of your regular machine gun. I don't know. It's like you play the game enough that it doesn't really kind of matter because, I don't know. It's okay. It's a decent game, but you're going to be doing the same thing over and over again, just so you're aware.
And you also set the difficulty to easy before you do anything else.
Which I wasn't even aware that was an option.
That would make it a little bit shorter, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
Interesting. I did not change the difficulty. I don't think. Does it default on easy or does it default on?
It defaults to normal.
Normal.
Yeah, I think it's normal. So
I should probably back it down. It was my first boss that I played. So it literally is it's boss fights, and they're side-scrolling boss fights like Mega. I mean, it's like a Galaga or not a Galaga, like a Life Force or a Gradius.
Yep.
Side-scrolling shooter, bullet hell. And it's just a giant weird boss that has 5-6 bits randomly generated.
Yep.
To it, yeah, and they just go nuts. And so I didn't have a clue what I was doing. So my first boss timed out. It's super bad.
Yes,
that was dumb.
Actually, the first step that you should take is to find, because you don't even have to face a boss before you can actually find the. I think, what do they call them? Masks or hats? Hats. They call them hats, and you can get a hat before you even start the game that will completely eliminate the time restraint for you.
Right.
And you can play through the whole game with that hat. You should do that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason why you wouldn't, because there's an achievement for beating all the bosses with under the time limit, and you don't need to play the game twice. So just do it the first time. Play the first boss a few times to grind some experience out in order to get some sort of power up, and then you'll be fine. It's kind of a downhill from there.
No, and once you start to kind of understand the mechanics a little bit, like you identify what needs to happen. Again, I haven't looked at the achievement list, so it's like I haven't fine-tuned it. I was just messing around and I think I got 5 achievements in, maybe played for 45 minutes or so. But I was only supposed to play for 15 because I was like, I'll just give it a shot, and it's bedtime, and I was like, oh man, that was dumb. How do I beat this boss? Let me just tweak it a little bit. Oh, okay. Unlimited time, that'll help. Yeah, all right, here we go. I gotta beat this guy. All right, let me just try one more and just see how that goes. And one more turned into one more, turned into one more, turned into one more, and 45 minutes later, it's like, okay, it's 1 a.m., you have to get up for baseball in the morning. It is time to put the game down.
Now, would you say it's because the game is good and addictive and you like it, or because you were playing it so late at night that you're just basically brain dead?
It was that it is addictive. It's not. It's good. It's okay. It's fine. It's from a bullet hell standpoint. There are some unique combinations of bad guys that are like, oh boy, that's kind of a pain in the butt, and yeah, man, I don't see a really good way to do this one. Or others where it's like, oh yeah, this pattern is easy. Look, I just swoop through here. I do this. I can do this without getting touched. And so it's kind of interesting, how the bosses are generated, because each component of these robots does a different thing. So some of them, have a pretty predictable pattern, others don't, and so then and then there's just so many hats, and so it's kind of overwhelming, and so you're looking at it okay, what do I need to put together to make this run successful, or how can I make my life a little bit easier, and then you kind of beat one, and you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. I could probably just do one more. It's only going to take me about 10 minutes. And so, and you're just thinking, well, if I just do one more, I don't have to go through these eventually. Let me just do one more. And so you just kind of, you don't want to leave, getting beat by a boss. but you feel good after you take one down, so you're kind of like, well, it's only a few more minutes. I just take one more down. So it's a fun little hook, but it's not terribly complex. I mean, it literally is a side-scrolling bullet hell that has some nuance to it, and it's the humor is very quirky and tongue-in-cheek, and anyway. So I've had some fun with it so far. It's not too bad. So how many achievements are there total, do you know? 32. And I have 5. I just got my special guest star, Buzz Rainbow, as my pet friend.
That was one of the most frustrating achievements for me, honestly.
Was it? He didn't show up?
Yeah, so if you're not paying attention to the visitors that you're getting between each level, you can miss it. And that's the second one. So, like, if you don't catch on to that system early on, you're going to have some frustration. And I talked about this on the review, but I actually tweeted the developer. I'm like, hey, I need this one achievement because it cascades into all these other achievements. Like, as soon as I find this guy, I'm going to get that achievement, which is the last visitor achievement, which is the last animal achievement, which is the last, X to Y to Z, all the way down the line. And to their credit, they tweeted me back in like an hour, and they were like, hey, you have to go play level 2 for that guy. And I got it, but it's frustrating. So you should start early on. Every time you beat the level and you go back to the main base, check the visitor and check
which I did.
the animal that they bring with them.
Yeah, I mean, the developer they're really responsive and they're really engaging with the community. They're giving the game away to like 80% of the audience that's interested in the game. So that's amazing. I can tell they put a ton of work into it. I mean, I think if you look back at the history of it, I think you were talking about this on the review. Just the different instances. It was on Flash, and then it was on this and that and this. So they've just they ported it a billion times, and there's so much narrative to it that I don't read and I just skip over. It's like they put a ton of work into the game, and I just don't appreciate it really. I feel bad about that. That I can tell they put a ton of work into it, but it's just really not. For me, it's just not really fun. Like, there's no weight behind the bullets. There's no weight behind. You're getting hit from everything, but it doesn't really feel like you're getting hit by it. And it's just kind of like it's kind of a nothing game. Unfortunately, I wish I enjoyed it more, and I'm gonna finish it. I guess I just really have no desire to do it. But I will say finding that one bird and getting the surprise, or that one animal and getting the surprise that happens when you do. Priceless. That was pretty good. That's the highlight of the game for me. I don't know how they can top that.
It's pretty funny. That's awesome.
It feels a lot like that scene reminds me very specifically of the end scene of Castle Crashers. Like,
yes, right?
Kind
the weird
of
giant
verbatim.
Party.
Yeah, it's like really specifically like almost the same thing. But
it's funny because I was going to say Pit People, and they're both the same developer.
Yep.
Like, it's just like the Behemoth humor.
It's the Behemoth humor and kind of this close to the same art style. But yeah.
Nice. So that pretty much does it for me. You guys have anything else you want to touch on in terms of what you have done? Maybe we can focus on what we want to do. What do you guys plan on doing this upcoming week or so? What are you working on? Koosh, what do you got going on?
I'm working on
more
I'm
boosts?
still chipping away at my dailies and my boosts. One of the things for the RTDL I needed an R, so I went back to Rayman. And my gosh, that game is fun. Rayman Legends on the 360. Mm-hmm. I completed it on the one. I think you and I were playing it about the same time, kind of going neck and neck and saying, "Oh, I got the time trial this week, and yours sucked. I ran by you. I waved right by you as you're eating my dust."
Yeah.
So right now, I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna sink some more time into the 360 version and just get that completion done. It is so much fun, and I got to do something until Dead Cells comes out, right?
That's right. That's right. Proulx, what about you? What's your plan? What are you up to?
Oh man, I don't even know. I'm gonna try to complete Lego Indiana Jones 2, which is blah.
Yeah, I bet.
Blah. Playing some dailies and stuff as well, but I don't really have a big plan for what's going on this week. So I guess it's just More of it. I actually have more of the pinball game to play. So.
Oh, that's right.
That's
I
what
wish I
I'm
was
doing.
you.
Yep.
I so wish I was you.
Since it's Saturday, I pretty much, there'll be a little bit of gaming tonight. I might go back. I played some of the Valley today. It's that weird, there's some combat, I guess, but it's like a traversal game, first person, weird running nature game. I don't know if you guys ever seen this thing. I have a random to-do list for beating level 7, and I was at the beginning of level 6. And so last night I beat level 6. I'm just following a walkthrough, and because there's no way you would find all the little nooks and crannies, and the world is so expansive. They have to run across. That's I'm not gonna mess with trying to find this on my own. I'm just gonna follow a guide. It'll be nice and easy. So if I finish the next level, that'll close that off my random to-do list. And I've also got probably go back and do a little bit more of Boss 101 for funsies. But it's going to be a busy week for me with this baseball tournament. So I got a game tomorrow, and that might just be another bloodbath. And so if that is, then it looks like we'll get kicked out of and not play next week's tournament. So that'll be a lot more gaming involved there. But as far as everything else that's going on, not so much. Of course, I'll be doing my Fallout Shelter, and thanks to all the community, and I read in the forums as well, we had a conversation last week, Proulx, that, I was trying to do multiple vaults, and while that might make it faster just because it increases the randomness, vault progress does not transfer between different vaults.
Okay.
Everything, all the achievements have to be done in a single vault. So that frees up my time by about 3, because I'm only doing 1 vault instead of 3 vaults. It's like, well, screw that. I've already got 8 legendary dwellers in one of them, so I'm not going to try and do anything else. And we'll just kind of chip away at that. Hopefully some more random to-do list stuff comes up, so then I can just kind of just knock those out real quick. Like customize 10 dwellers. Pfft, easy. I have so much money in that game right now. It's crazy. One thing, you had mentioned kids wake up early to play video games. So I was bored, and I was looking into Pokemon Quest recipes. I was like, I kind of understand how the stews work, but not really. And so I went into a little deep dive on Reddit, and somebody put a recipe guide together. I was like, oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. Okay. So I'm trying to min-max my recipes, and my son, he's like, Dad, can I see that? I'm like, yeah, sure. Here, take a look. And all right, I'm just gonna write a few of them down. I'm like, buddy, my laptop is right here. Just ask me, and I'll tell you what recipe you want to do. He's like, well, yeah, I'm probably gonna work on it tomorrow morning. And so it'd be really great if I just had the list. I'm like, how many games are you gonna play in the morning? What time are you waking up? Well, if I just had the list, then I wouldn't have to bother you. So maybe I'm like, buddy, I'm in the middle of, I can't just print this off for you. And he just kept pestering me. So I'm like, fine. So I printed it off, and he comes back to me in the morning, and he's like, oh man, I got 6 new Pokemon. I ran a bunch of, he's been playing for an hour because he woke up super early. I'm like, yeah, dude, you should be sleeping. You have a baseball game today. So yeah, I don't get it. Although, it's because we set his time limit, because he's been bad about it. So we're like, all right, this is your time limit. You can't go over it. So he burns through it in the morning, so that then when he's done and we wake up, it's like, okay, so if he has to go do something that, he has to sit somewhere, can you unlock my Switch so that I can keep playing? Or he just stays busy so day because, we keep him, we're just constantly doing stuff that he would never get to play anyway. So he burns through his time in the morning, and, that he knows he got it in. Yeah, I can sleep well tonight because I used up all my video game time.
That's funny.
His dad's not setting him a good example, I suppose.
Smart plan.
Yeah, I should, in theory, get to bed before the games tomorrow too, but I got some gaming to do tonight, so that will be fun. Koosh, you had mentioned, before we go, there was one thing you wanted to talk about just briefly, was the new dashboard update.
Yeah.
We should touch on that real quick. I just found out about it last night, after Boss 101. I was like, okay, we got to shut this thing down. Or maybe it was before Boss 101. That's what it was. and I was like, oh, I should, just play one more quick game here. And the dashboard looked a little different. I'm like, this is kind of weird. The pin menu on the side, and I saw at the bottom it said add group. I was like, oh, interesting. Okay, well, hey, let me just take a look here. And so I decided to add my RTDL group. And I put that in, and then I had it all locked in there for my pin set. And I said, oh, that's really cool. There's so many other groups I want to do. But no, I can't. It's like 12:30. Like, I can't do that. What have you been up to?
Right. So with the pins, well, it's a little bit of a sad story. I updated the dash and didn't really pay attention to that and just navigated, played games, did Netflix, did whatever. My daughter just starts whining, like crying, like one night. And I'm like, what's wrong? And she goes, I can't find Netflix. Because the way that the pins used to work, it was right there at the top, and she just can't find it. And she's, she just pouts. She's 4, she's almost 5. But she can't find Netflix where it's supposed to be, and I was just like, oh, I'm so sorry, So we figured it out. Got the pins back for her. Got the Netflix right near the top, so she can go and do that, and mom and daddy can get stuff done, and sanity. So basically, I've done that for her and for the family, and get those common pins at the top. But then I also have my daily grinds.
Yep.
I don't want to talk about them. They're so grindy. And then I have my boosts, so my Evolve, my my Diablo. Hoping to do that one on the one. All those games go into one folder, and then I have my my for fun games. My long haul games, basically in another one, and then that actually makes finding things a whole lot easier. Before I was doing this thing where I would go to all my games, and then I would sort by last used. You just have to kind of go down by the days to find the one that you're looking for. But now I can put them in there, and they're grouped in these little folders. So rather than having your 40 pins like it was before the update, and you just have to scan through them, now I can have these nice little groups. I love it. It's very handy.
Yeah, absolutely. Proulx, did you make any groups yet?
I'm on the fence about it.
Why is that?
Just because it's so convenient to I want to play Gears of War, so I'll just pick G. I don't know. I get the usefulness of them, especially now that the update is if you press the guide button, you have those groups there. But I don't know. I'm sure I'll do it, but for right now I'm just happy with the regular sorting.
If you could get one thing back, it would be the Y button to pull up to the alphabet so I can get to the thing.
Yes.
Why did that go away?
So you actually have to hit a character. You have to select A and then press the A button in order to select it, in order to sort by it. They
take the Y away and they don't replace it with anything. Why did it need to go away? Was it taking up that much code to have the Y button have an event? I don't think so.
That was pretty dumb. I do also keep forgetting that you hit A on ampersand or whatever, and it brings up that sort menu again. But yeah, it's pretty obnoxious. Because if you're in the middle of like M, right? M, I have 30 M games on my Xbox right now, so it's just really annoying. I do want to add. I mean, I have my RTDL list. I don't know if you guys have seen Stallion's lists where it's grinds till I die and different unobtainable games. Those are interesting, right? If you had a list of games with unobtainable achievements, your for fun games. You could put something together because you'd have your RTDL, but then the ones that don't have. For the gamertag challenge, you could put those letters in there that you plan to do, and then when they're, you finish them, you can take those off. So, I got some uses for groups. I'm looking forward to it. Was there anything else that they updated? I didn't even bother looking.
Yeah, that's all that I saw. There might have been some other things.
Yeah. All that's important. Man, in theory, they probably made it work better.
I think they added the quests, or they added the rewards. So now your Microsoft rewards are an app. So that can be an app, and you can pin that, and you can then go there and do one or two unique things that you can do through that app that you can't do on the website to kind of get your MS points, your rewards points for that. That's the only thing I've noticed. There might be more.
What the hell was I gonna say? I totally forgot. Oh, damn it. Well, I guess it wasn't important. Anyway, well, that's fun. Awesome. I think that'll do it for the show today. We're at about our time limit here. So I want to thank everybody so much for listening. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And if you haven't been over to our forums, head over there. There we got contests, things, forum.zz.com. We also have our Twitter at ZZZEDTOZED, or chat with us on Discord, discord.io/Z2Z. Is there anything you guys are working on? Anything you want to promote, talk about? I know we got Review Zed out there as a separate show that you guys should download and be a part of. Koosh, thanks so much for being a part of the show. Anywhere that you want people to bother you, talk to you, or are you just too busy in your grinds to have any
grindy,
friends?
So much homework. But if for some reason you think you need to talk to me or find me, I'm Kooshmoose in all the places. Discord, I'm hanging out there all the time. Or just do Discord. It's probably the easiest.
Yeah, it's super fun too. So thanks everybody. I appreciate it. On behalf of Koosh and Proulx, this has been Brandon. And to all you achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies out there, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next episode.